closing out a very busy international fight week.
Oh, my God.
And airing live with the Ultimate Fighter 21 finale.
That's right.
Fayaz, how's it going?
Man, it's going all right, man. I'm still going crazy from last night's card. And that's going to be a tough one to top, so, oh, my God. My head's
before we even get
still.
into any of the fights, before we even get into any of the fights last night, I got to ask you this. I asked you earlier on the text. Was that the best UFC card ever?
Man, I
know there's been a lot.
Yeah. Other than the very first one I ever watched, because, that just drew the excitement to me. Man, that, I don't know about ever, but that's been the best one in a long time. You had a finish. I mean, you just had escalated excitement in every fight. You had Brad Pitt's head bouncing off the ground. You had, Thatch getting the 1-2, getting knocked down and getting choked out by Gunnar Nelson, who I just want everybody to know that everybody I picked last night, except for Robbie Lawler and Conor McGregor, lost. So I had Thatch going into that fight, and then after that you had another one, and then after that, then you had Robbie Lawler and Rory MacDonald just destroy each other, and Robbie Lawler just destroy Rory MacDonald's face in so many pieces, and then Chad Mendes, really put Conor McGregor to the test on the ground. Man, you just couldn't. It was just one of those cards you couldn't top, man. I mean, it was just blood everywhere. I loved it, man. Everybody fought. You had some comebacks. I mean, it was just awesome. It was awesome. That's all I got to say. It was awesome. There's not another word for it.
Yeah, it was well worth the $54.99 or $64.99 or whatever it is people are paying these days to watch it. It was a great card. I mean, the only other, for me, the only other card that I think might have rivaled it in just for sheer hype, maybe UFC 100. That was a super huge card. I'll be interested to see what the buy rate. I'll be interested to see what the buy rate for UFC 189 is. If they're able to break 1 million. This was a huge card. They pulled out all the stops, and the fights, like you said, were absolutely insane. Everyone out there came out and just gave it everything that they had. The crowd was into it from the beginning to the end, and man, I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. I think that the UFC couldn't have put on a better show in front of a larger audience.
I'm telling you, man. It was just, and all the fighters showed up, man. It wasn't just the main event guys. Everybody showed up to, to fight. It was awesome. It was awesome. You couldn't have written it better, and it was just awesome, man. I'd watch that whole card again, just to watch it again. It was so awesome. Just to see if I missed anything. It was so awesome. So, yeah, I can't say enough about it, man. It's gonna be a hard one to top. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna be a hard one to top coming through with the rest of them for the year.
Definitely. 929-477-1077. We'll encourage you to give it a call if you're checking us out live. The first fight that they opened with on the pay-per-view, Thomas Almeida and Brad Pickett, I really did not expect a lot out of that fight. Pickett, right, I knew was a dangerous striker, and, man, I tell you what, the flying knee, wow.
Yeah.
Almost out of nowhere. I was thinking Pickett might have been on his way to getting a win there.
Yeah, I know, right? And he was putting on an awesome fight. I had that pretty one-sided going the other way, and he was putting on a great fight. And then he took that knee, and I just watched his head bounce off the canvas, and I went, "Oh my God!" Could it get worse than that as the night goes on? and it kind of did. It kind of did just gradually get worse. Not worse in a bad way, but worse for the guys who lost as the fights went on that night. It was It was a good show, man. I mean, I'm sure everybody got some sort of a bonus backhandedly last night. So.
Yeah, it was a great finish. No need for a follow-up. He lands a knee, drops him, basically just walks off. Fight was clearly over. It was a good fight. Thomas Almeida is a tough guy. Then, of course, Gunnar Nelson getting the job done against Brandon Thatch.
Beautiful 1-2 combo by Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was
they were
right on target.
It was funny. They were standing in front of each other, and I'm like, they're playing, they're feinting, but they're both within striking range. That's probably more so. And then they start to kind of bouncing and taunting each other. Next thing you know, Gunnar Nelson flies in with a 1-2. And I just went, oh, my God, I didn't see that coming. Thatch goes down. It was over. So what do we know about Brandon Thatch? He needs to learn how to defend the rear naked choke because he's slowly becoming Frank Trigg.
Oh, no, not Frank Trigg. UFC Hall of Famer Frank Trigg, by the way.
That's right, UFC Hall of Famer Frank Trigg. Hey, all respect
that away
to Frank
from
Trigg,
him.
but all respect to Frank Trigg, but choked out twice in 2 title fights, which is cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. At least he was in there doing it. But I'm just saying, Thatch lost to Ben Henderson that way. I thought he would be able to defend better against Gunnar Nelson, and he didn't. So kind of disappointing because I had Thatch picked to win that fight.
Yeah, I want to say I did too. It kind of slips me though. But it was a good fight.
No, you picked Gunnar. You picked against him.
No, I
took
Nelson.
I remember.
I did take Nelson.
You did take Nelson.
Nelson's kind of sneaking up a little bit. I mean, this guy's a pretty talented fighter.
Yeah, he's not a slouch by any means. He's a pretty good all around fighter too. So keep an eye out for that guy, man. That might boost his confidence a little bit and get him rolling.
Then we had Jeremy Stevens and Dennis Bermudez, another great fight. Jeremy Stevens missed weight. This one pretty much went down a little bit kind of the way that I envisioned it. I thought that Stevens would probably get a little bit tired. He normally does, but the guy is such a dangerous striker. Every punch that he throws is violent. And I'm thinking the entire time I'm watching the fight that he's eventually going to catch Bermudez with a punch, but no punch needed because two flying knees in one card to stop 2 fights. Amazing. He caught him and finished him off on the ground in the closing seconds.
Yeah.
Or in the opening. Was the opening or the closing? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It was just a great fight. It was just, God. It was back and forth, man. And, Jeremy Stevens, good job, Jeremy Stevens, on just taking the fine and saying, hey, I'm going to fight anyway. I thought the weight cut was going to get to him, but I was wrong. Again, I was wrong. So, God, that's hard to say. I'm glad I didn't bet money last night because I would have lost millions of dollars. Millions.
Yeah. Yeah, for any of the listeners that base their bets on the Black Belt's picks, sincerest apologies from the Majority Decision.
Yeah. A friend of mine kept texting me going, yeah, so that's like, yeah, man, I'm not doing so well tonight. Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, then, of course, it moved right into the fight that was almost the forgotten title fight of the night, Robbie Lawler and Rory MacDonald.
Which I think was a better fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No question.
Hands
fight
down.
of the year, maybe.
Yeah, that was a great fight. That was a great fight, man. God, those guys, the way they just tried to pick each other apart going into that deal. And then I guess, they were saying Lawler was down 3-1 before he pulled that knockout out. Now, I didn't see it that way. I thought it was more of a 2-2, but I guess you never know what the judges are looking at when everybody's face is covered in blood. I thought Rory had more blood on his face, so I don't know. I don't know how you gauge a fight like that after a while.
Well, to me, there was absolutely no way it was 3-1. I mean, I think the first round was close.
Right.
I gave it to Lawler,
Right.
just strictly on the fact that, you know, you got to take the round from a champion. The second round was clearly Lawler's round. The third and the fourth, I think, went to Rory, and
right.
then in the end, man, Rory looked like he was auditioning for a part on The Walking Dead and not as a normal cast member, as a zombie, because his face was absolutely trashed.
It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. It was nuts. And I think after a while, I mean, I think something got fractured in his face and he just couldn't take it. He just couldn't take any more punches after a while. But, I mean, that was hard. That was crazy. It was a great fight, and yeah, you can't. And Robbie Lawler for coming back. You know, at the end of the fourth round, when Robbie Lawler walked up to him saying something, you know, he spit on the floor. He spit blood on the floor in front of Rory MacDonald, and they just stared at each other. I was like, oh my God. You know, if somebody doesn't die in the fifth round, somebody's getting finished. God. It was just amazing, man. You know, somebody was cleaning off the canvas on that one.
Yeah, the finish was pretty, you know, almost a little bit out of nowhere, but I think exactly what you said. His nose was just done. I don't think he could take any more, and I think he did come out and say that he did suffer a fractured nose and a fractured foot. And, you know, because the punch that got landed was a hard punch, but I didn't feel like he was knocked out. I think he was just done taking punches in the nose.
Anymore. Yeah, I think he just couldn't take any more of that. And, you know, maybe he busted up his orbital a little bit too. I don't know. I don't know exactly what his injuries were. I just know he did put it all out. He left it all in there. You can't say he didn't come to fight. And you know,
did you see the pictures of him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you see the pictures today? I mean, he looked like Rocky.
Yeah.
From Rocky 1.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, his both eyes were swollen shut. I mean, man.
You know, it's funny. All cleaned up. I guess, you know, Lawler didn't look really that worse for the wear. You know, once they were all
with the
cleaned
exception
up.
of that enormous gash he had in his lip. I don't know if you saw that, but man.
Oh, I saw that.
That was nasty.
That was crazy. Yeah. God. Man, if anybody missed this, y'all need to either buy it and watch it, or as soon as they replay it, watch it. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I would definitely.
Yeah. So
definitely worth the money.
Yeah. McGregor,
you know, at the end of the day, I think I think it was MacDonald. I think you know, I expected to see a little more takedown. I think just like I felt like it was going to happen. I mean, MacDonald is not strong enough to control Lawler, so anytime there was any kind of a threat of a takedown, which wasn't very often, probably not often enough, I expected MacDonald to come out and at least feint for takedowns to try to open up some striking. He's got a decent jab, but he wasn't really working anything off of it. And, I mean, Lawler barely threw any kicks the entire fight, so there wasn't really anything opening up for him. And, you know, when it's just hands versus hands, I think Lawler's going to win that fight every time, and of course he did.
Yeah, he's going to win, and that's Lawler's fight. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. I think Rory wanted to prove I can get in there and scrap, and he did. He did prove it, but Lawler's been in more of those wars, and I think little Rory was worse for the wear on that one. He just couldn't take it anymore. God, that was an awesome fight. That was so awesome. I screamed as loud as I could when Robbie Lawler won, because, you know, of course, I'm a Robbie Lawler fan. I'm old school, so I gotta give props where props are deserved. What did you think of the main event?
You know, first of all, let me just say this. I really liked the fact that they had, though I'm disappointed when I saw Sinead O'Connor. If she's not singing, nothing compares. If she's not singing, nothing compares to me. I don't think I want to hear her sing. I mean, I'll just be honest. She's got a great voice.
She does.
But I really like
the
fact that they got her. They got it was the guy from Stained, and his name escapes me. But I like that a lot. I think that completely added to the spectacle of a fight that was extremely huge. And I know in the past Dana White has kind of been critical of guys who have the the over the top entrances and stuff. I mean, obviously they set this up, but I mean, I think this was perfect. I think it was great. If they can do stuff, you can't do that every main event, but for big fights to have those guys come out and have their walk music actually sung, I think really added to the event and added to the spectacle of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought that was awesome too. Good job for them doing that, man. That was fantastic. It was good to see McGregor come back after being put on his back, scramble out, escape, come back, and he also to me came back and won that fight, because if Mendes could have kept that up, he would have won the fight just based on control alone. So obviously it looks like Conor needs to work on the ground a little bit more, but you could tell every time he hit Chad, it just hurt him more. And I think at the end of the day, that's what got him.
Yeah, to me, watching that fight, I was a little surprised. I felt like almost 3 or 4 minutes into the first round that Chad Mendes was gassed, maybe about halfway through. I mean, I could have been wrong, but it looked to me like he was tired. He usually doesn't get tired. I know it was a big fight. There was a lot of hype. I mean, they had the music, they had everything.
You want to know what it was? I don't think
I'm going to tell you what I think it was. I think it was tired, and then I think when those body shots started landing, that put him over the top. At the end of the first round, I thought the fight was over.
4 spin side kicks right to the floating ribs, I think that started to get him.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Those don't look like hard shots, but if you've never been hit by one, by somebody who can kickbox real well or throw that with proper technique, you don't have to hit somebody hard. It doesn't have to be loud. You just got to hit it right on the spot, and it's a tough thing to overcome. You're breathing hard, and it hurts. It hurts. So Chad Mendes took a lot more punishment than people I think realize.
Yeah, those kicks to the body were nasty. I knew right away that he was in trouble, and like I said, I felt like he was done after the first round. I think he didn't have anything else to do to give. Leads me to another point, and you mentioned it earlier. You said that McGregor needs to work on his ground game. He needs to work on his takedown defense, because you had and this is just my opinion, for what it's worth. He was taken down extremely easily by for all intents and purposes, done Chad Mendes. And Chad Mendes is a great wrestler, so I know that makes a difference too. I mean, even though he was on top and he was landing elbows, to me those elbows didn't have anything behind them, and it was just a matter of time before the ref either stood it up and McGregor finished him. Props to McGregor, man, 100%. He said he was going to finish the fight in the second round. Finished the fight in the second round.
Second round. He sure did, didn't he? Yeah. And he was respectful at the end too. He was, man. Hey, good for that guy, man. That's, everybody thought he was being cocky, and I think that's just belief in yourself, and he did it, man. He did. Now he's just got to beat Aldo, and that's going to solidify the whole thing,
Well, since you came a little bit late to the party on the Tough Enough party, you probably didn't catch this news, but it's not really spoiling anything for you, so I'm going to go ahead and let you know that they announced on the show that the next edition of The Ultimate Fighter, the coaches are going to be Uriah Faber and Conor McGregor.
Oh, no. Really? Are you serious right now, or are you joking? Okay.
I'm 100% serious, and here's the kicker. They're going to coach, but they're not going to fight.
Oh, what? Can that be? Can you do it that way?
They did it over in Brazil a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrible idea. Let me rephrase that. I think having those two guys on that show is a good idea. I think having them not fight at the end, regardless of whether or not you think Faber's a contender or not, is a mistake.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, that's sometimes that's the only reason you watch that show is because you want to see the coaches fight at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And
so,
I mean, if they're putting McGregor on there to try to breathe life into a show that, I mean, I know you watch it pretty regularly, but to me, this show lost its luster a long time ago. They haven't created a star in 10 years or however long it's been.
Right.
I mean, it's a good platform for some of those guys to build a name, a minimal name for themselves, but I don't know. I think it's had a good run, and they need to make some changes. And the team thing for me didn't really hype my interest.
Well, as long as they don't turn
either.
it into Dancing with the Stars, I'm good.
No, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Yeah, as long as
that's not to say. Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that the show won't be good, especially with those two dynamic personalities on there. McGregor's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderboy Thompson couldn't come out and fight Jake Ellenberger. Not the case. So I wanted to go over something. All right, so, my phone might die here pretty soon, and if it does, I'm sorry to everybody, but listen up. On the way home last time, I'm listening to ESPN, and the guy is talking about, he had a guy tweet in, and he says, hey, UFC just had a great show. Why aren't you talking about that? And so he starts posing a question to people. Hey, why do you think the UFC is more mainstream? Right? It was a big show. People know about it. They put on good shows. They pull in gay. They do everything. But why do you think it's not as mainstream? Right? And his thought on that was, maybe people just think it's still barbaric. And I got to disagree with him on that. I think we're beyond that now. Don't you?
I do. I mean, I don't think barbaric has anything to do with it.
Haven't we seen boxing fights where, guys are just covered in blood and they're just beating the tar out of each other? We have, right? So, I think we're beyond this whole barbaric thing. But he did go on to defend MMA versus boxing against another caller and say it's actually safer because you're not brutally getting hit in the head continuously all the time because there's other ways to win, right? So, but I think we're past the barbaric thing, and I don't know why they don't sanction it in New York. I have no idea why, and who cares? Do we need New York at this point? Because we have the rest of the world. So,
yeah, not at all.
I don't even really care about New York anymore. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. But we're beyond the point to where this is, barbaric. Okay, so I don't want to hear it from people anymore that, oh my God, it's human cockfight. It's not. It's not. If you took the time to really see what it is and kind of get an understanding of what it is, you'd appreciate it as much as you'd appreciate boxing or anything else.
And here's the thing for me with MMA that I would tell someone who's new to the sport and wanting to give it a try. Look, you can't watch one card and understand it.
No.
If you haven't ever trained in any kind of a martial arts, or you weren't like previously a fight fan, a boxing fan, or maybe even a professional wrestling fan, you can't watch one card and think, oh, this sucks. All these guys did was lay on top of each other for 15 minutes. Because you don't understand what's going on. You have to watch it a few cards. You have to invest some time into it, really gain an understanding of what's going on in there to really appreciate what these guys are doing. As far as it being mainstream, I was talking to the guys that I was watching the fight with yesterday, and as big as mixed martial arts is to us as fans, it's not even. I know it's worldwide and stuff, but it's nowhere near the level of popularity here in America as hockey. And I'm surprised that hockey still has a television contract, to be honest, in some markets.
Hey, I'm a hockey fan. I love to watch it, but I agree with you. I've been to some hockey games out here, and they're not even full. They're not only they're not full, right? You have so many bandwagon fans out here that the same people are wearing different jerseys. If last year's Stanley Cup team comes to town, so I don't see it. I don't even understand how that is, but that's crazy to me. You dug that stat up. That's nuts. I can't even believe that. But yeah, I'm through with people saying it's barbaric. It's not. These guys put on more of a show, if not, and work as hard and are as athletic, if not more, than any boxer and other sports out there. You know what I mean? So I'm
definitely athletically. Yeah. I think they're definitely on. They're on the same level. I think as and I've said this for years, the more that the sport continues to grow and you see top level athletes that would normally float to basketball or float to football or float to baseball start getting the martial arts bug when they're younger, they're going to start floating towards MMA and the athleticism of the sport. Even in the past 6 years has made an amazing jump.
Yes.
You got guys like John Jones. Just absolutely amazing athletes.
Travis Brown, Fabricio Verdum. You look at the way that guy moves.
Freak athletes.
For as big as he is, it's crazy, right? These guys, the way these guys move, they're heavyweight. And I'm talking about heavyweights, guys. If you're just a casual fan, I'm talking about heavyweights. When I'm naming off those names, I'm not even talking about guys that are 150, 160 pounds, light guys. I'm talking about heavyweights, moving like they're light guys. So it gets more exciting every year, all the time, and I appreciate these guys for coming in and putting on a show, and all the kids who are out there taking a shot at it, doing the pancration, really investing themselves into learning, martial arts. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We got about 1:40 left. Real quickly, I want to get to this subject before we close the show out. Just a little quick question. You've been a trainer. You were a trainer at a school for years. How do you fish out and deal with guys that come in that, the fake jiu-jitsu guy, the fake black belt? How do you handle those guys in a gym?
You just try to be respectful. There's nothing you can do. What I would find is when I'd find guys who, had, some McDojo black belt and they weren't very good, and we'd meet these guys and we'd invite them, they'd realize what they really had, and we'd never see them after about a week because they'd realize, I'm not what I thought I was, and you kind of feel bad for those guys because really they got ripped off, you know what I mean? But there's this whole video circulating around about guys showing up at like UFC gyms and pretending to be fake black belts. So
they actually had a fake black belt training guys in jiu-jitsu about a year ago.
Yeah.
I remember that came out. But anyway. Right. Be aware of the fake black belt. Know who's training you. Know their credentials. Make sure they're real before you give somebody their money. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for another
I'm a black belt in pie eating.
A legitimate black belt, confirmed and verified by the
chocolate
truth.
Cream pie eating.
Have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday.
All right, bud. Thanks.